Folks, we're here with Tyler Lantz, another Tehachapi native and local. And right now with Rise Renewables. Tyler, it's great having you on.
Thanks for having me, Adam, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
First time doing a podcast, so never thought I'd be here. So it's kind of different, so appreciate it for sure.
Good. It's not your first time talking in front of people, though. You've been doing that a couple of years now.
No, not at all. So I'm a technical trainer with Rise Renewable Energy. Talking is part of my job, so I'm definitely in front of a classroom most of the time when I'm not developing training and talking. So about the renewable energy industry. So sorry.
No, that's perfect. Well, we won't tell you how many people listen or watch the podcast, but just figure it's like a classroom.
Okay.
Just like a classroom. And it's not, though, when we're having a conversation. You have had an awesome career, but more than that, we've been family friends for about a decade now. I think, trying to think back, I vaguely remember meeting you when you were a baby, and then didn't get to meet you again until about 10 years ago when I moved back here, 2015.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Was that after you graduated high school? When did you graduate?
That was right after I graduated high school and I was in the military, I believe so.
Okay. Yes. All right. What'd you do after you graduated?
After I graduated, I was in the Marine Corps, so I did communications in the Marines for one enlistment. After the Marines, I sold cars and then got into renewables after a few months of being in a suit in hot Yuma, Arizona. So didn't really like selling cars too much. I really liked working with my hands when I was in the Marine Corps. A lot of my family was in renewable energy and also were law enforcement. I didn't want to go beat up bad guys. I wanted to go fix things. So that's the pathway I kind of chose was renewables. So
it's a good path.
Yes, sir.
It's a good path. Thank you for your service.
Thanks for the support, man.
And we've known each other too long. I'm not sir.
Well, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There we go.
My bad.
One more, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, I am just, I'm just, I don't know what the right word is, overjoyed and tickled to be able to watch your career grow in this industry. And just for a minute, I got climb turbines and work with your dad and your uncle back in the 90s. Climbing turbines. And I know I've told you some of these stories, but your dad made work fun. He made work fun.
I believe it, man.
Yeah, 100%. I was the polar opposite, so we made a good team. But man, there was a time when he quit because he wasn't in it too long, if memory serves, a year or two, and he moved on to some other things in life. But man, I missed him. And then your uncle too. And we were just telling the story how he always had this funny game. I think it was 50 incline push-ups, climb the turbine, go do your work, and climb down. And it was 50 decline. But the last turbine of the day, it was how many could you do at the end. So it wasn't enough that we were climbing. And no climb assist back then, just a ladder.
Climbing gets your legs jacked, man. You got to make sure your chest is good, you know. So
you sound just like him.
Hey.
You sound just
I did solar, though. I mean, most of the time. I did a little bit of wind work, but most of the work that I've done in the field was in solar and battery energy storage. So
yeah. Did you do some wind?
I did one project. It was in Iowa, so Spencer, Iowa. There's a project out there called the Upland Prairie Project. I believe there's a bunch of GE turbines out there, 2.5 megawatts. So we went out there and helped with the tower wiring on that project when I was with a certain company a while back. So
was that because I think that site was like a 2015 site, so that was one of maybe your first assignments?
That was one of the first assignments I was as a technician. So I started off as a laborer in the industry, cutting weeds at solar sites, and then I got training and also and started as a wind technician up in Iowa. So that was my first project, doing a wind project, I guess. So
what'd you think of that?
It was interesting, man. I definitely remember the first day that I climbed a turbine, like looking up the turbine, like, man, that's pretty high up there. And then once you get over the climb and you get used to it, it's like riding a bike. So
right,
it's fun, man. I enjoyed it. And then I got into solar and realized I didn't have to climb as much, so that was cool.
Liked that a little bit better.
Yeah.
Did they have the lifts on them? Then, oh no, you were wiring.
Wiring. So
So
no lifts at all, man.
you're just building them.
We were building them. So
Yeah. All right.
raw.
Those have a 3S lift on them now.
Yep.
Upland.
I've seen them, man. I've never got the chance to use them, but good for those people that do.
I never got a chance to use them either.
So,
Never. Not even a climb assist.
nice.
Yeah, never.
Yeah, me either. I've never used a climb assist either.
No.
Just lat safe and Pelican hooks all the way up.
Oh man.
So,
The hard way.
yeah.
The hard way.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was fun, man. Got a lot of experience. Got a lot of I guess thicker legs doing it.
Mhm.
But it was fun, man.
You also learned about like material handling, right? Material handling and lifting and rigging because you were pulling cable,
Yes.
right? So you're using, I don't know, some kind of a lifting apparatus, a device to pull the cable. You weren't doing it all by hand.
No, we weren't doing it all by hand. We'd have to, rig it up. Someone would have to free climb up there and set it up, and then we'd pull up all of our tools and all of our stuff that we needed up tower. But yeah, free willy nilly on the ladder climbing up there by ourselves. But
Mm-hmm. I see a lot of times people from wind go into solar or battery. They bring with them what I just generically call material handling skills, right? Being able to lift heavy things safely and accurately because you don't get a lot of that experience in solar and battery. But boy, you get it just about every day in wind.
oh yeah,
You're always hauling something heavy up.
yeah, I can definitely see that for sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting skill set and I don't know, sort of mindset and training that you get from wind to get to bring it over to, okay, maybe a panel's not so heavy, but if you need to move an inverter, if you need to move a transformer, again, lifting, rigging, positioning, safety comes into play.
Man, you gotta have a plan,
Got to have a plan.
right?
All right. Then you transfer over to solar. What were you doing there?
So I started off doing DC Health and solar. So we were doing IV curb trace testing. So there's a big storm that went out, and it was in Texas, so West Texas, Fort Stockton. So storm rolled through, hailstorm knocked out about 13,000 modules, and we had to replace all the modules and then test them. And part of my job was to do the IV curb trace testing of that crew and making sure that the modules were performing to spec and the power that we needed to. So that was part of the scope of work and a lot of panel replacement. So a lot of manual labor as well as testing. With the testing, it involves electrical hazards, so we had to wear PPE. How to mitigate the heat stress too, because we're in West Texas. So wearing Category 2 PPE or Category 4 PPE, depending on what you have with your kit, you could definitely get heat illness. So we had to mitigate that and make sure we drink water and take our breaks. And that was definitely part of the daily thing, just making sure we didn't fall out from heat illness. But yeah, man, lots of testing, lots of labor, man. That was the first couple jobs that I did in solar. But
what year was that?
I want to say that was 2019. So
Okay.
what's crazy about it now is my supervisor that I have at the time, or right now, Juan Acuna, he's been on the show before. He was my supervisor on the project. So it's kind of cool that I have the same supervisor, eons later. So not eons, a couple years later, but
Eons for you.
yeah, eons for me. I'm still kind of young, but
Oh, man. Juan has some amazing stories.
man,
What a storyteller.
absolutely, I could listen to him for forever, man.
Forever. I
Yeah.
agree. Okay, 2019. Then what happened? Where'd your career go?
From 2019, so we did that big project in Texas. After that was wrapped up, ended up getting some specialty training, so inverter training with a couple different manufacturers. Went off and did some commissioning, so helped commission some SMA inverters. Also was on a couple of projects to commission. We commissioned some power electronics inverters. So I've got my hands in a couple different manufacturers, just helping out as the unqualified and qualified worker at some points. But working on a bunch of different manufacturers for the for inverter commissioning, and then did some battery work as well. So I commissioned a bunch of battery or BESS units, battery energy storage systems. Primarily have experience with BYDs. So there's a couple of projects that I helped commission up in Lemoore, California. About half a gigawatt, man. Ton of batteries, but
Wow. You get to do all three.
yeah, I got a chance to do all three just for small snippets at a time, and now I'm a technical trainer, so I get to train people that work on these things day in and day out. So.
We'd like to take this time to thank another one of our wonderful sponsors, Podge Engineering. Podge Engineering, making wind and solar all we know it can be. Are your renewable energy assets underperforming or not performing at all? Did you expect many years of longevity and they're failing on you now? Podge LLC offers many customized, engineered products and solutions to get these assets back on track. Podge Engineering also performs root cause analysis, engineering services, procurement, and construction. Visit podge.org. That's PADGE.org. Remember Podge, making wind and solar all we know it can be. This is an impressive career you've had.
Yeah, man.
When did you get into training? When did you join Rise?
So I joined Rise, I want to say it was December of 2022. So I'm creeping up on 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, creeping up on 3 years in December. So been a technical trainer for them, help out with some of the development. So we build some courses out and train on those courses that are tailored to specific customers that we have. So it's been a lot of fun, man. I got some really awesome supervisors too. I got Juan Acuna, also Steven San Juan and John Reckers. Really good dudes, man. They've been my my supervisors and have looked out for me throughout my whole industry. So.
Oh, good. Well,
yeah.
We know Steven and John well.
Yeah,
They've been on here a couple times. Well. Yes. Yeah, we got some signatures up there. Did you ever think you'd be training people and teaching new to industry technicians?
Honestly, no, man. I just kind of stumbled in on it. Yeah, honestly, not really. I mean, I really enjoy helping people. So, I mean, that's actually part of the good fit with it is I get to help people day in and day out. I like fixing things, so it kind of mixes in with helping people. So I kind of help people fix things. So, I mean, yeah, man, that's what I enjoy about my job is helping people learn about their machines and to work safely. So
it's an extra level of expertise that's sometimes tough to get. So you might be great in wind, solar, battery, but then can you teach it to somebody else? And being good with your hands and fixing things falls right into that. But when did you start to think you might like to try instructing and teaching?
Oh man, the first days that I instructed were were a struggle, man. I wasn't really that good at public speaking. Sometimes I get kind of nervous, so that was part of it, is overcoming the public speaking aspect of it. But once I got over the public speaking portion of that and started teaching people and really seeing them open up and learn certain things, like for instance, working with multimeters, taking measurements, seeing them, the light bulb turn on in their eyes, when they're using the multimeter is pretty dang cool. So,
yes, it is.
I don't know if I went on a tangent right there or not.
I love it. No, you overcame a fear of public speaking. I want to ask how, but you found quickly there's job satisfaction in there for you, that you enjoyed seeing these students learn and be given new information, gain new knowledge, and then put it in practice.
Yes, sir. I mean, yes, Adam.
That's all right. I can be sir on the podcast. We all know I'm not sir off the podcast.
It's so serious sometimes.
That's okay. How did you get over the public speaking?
Just by doing it.
Just by doing it.
Just by doing it, like Nike.
Embrace the fear.
Embrace the fear, You just got to do it.
Yeah.
Get out there. Try not to be so serious, and that's one of my personal things is being real serious, at first, but trying to have fun and relaxing, and that's a huge part of it too. Is having fun and also being a teacher and guiding people. So
you had to fake it a little bit.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, yeah. Take the anxiety maybe a little bit.
I have a ton of times in my life.
But I'm doing it right now.
Yes. And so do I sometimes still. Absolutely. But facing your fear and not letting it hold you back.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. You might be scared, but you just keep taking another step forward. Did you ever do maybe read a book about public speaking or listen to a class, a podcast?
I mean, I've been through leadership courses when I was in the military. So, I mean, I have some kind of guidance or sense of leadership through being in the military, but not recently any kind of books or anything that I've read as far as leadership or public speaking. Do you have any that you'd recommend or?
Um, there are plenty of good resources out there, and yes, I could find some for you. But I think one of the best things I've ever done, and I haven't done too many, and I'm thinking about going and doing it again, is taking improv classes.
Okay.
Yeah, these people are great at figuring out how to make you uncomfortable really fast, and then you have to go through the exercise, right? So you take, it's just like you've dealt with it yourself, but they're good at finding out what our improvement areas are and then making us go through it. And lots of little yes and games and keep conversations going, funny little actor things, but it gets you to, think a little faster on your feet, throw in the witty jargon when there's the appropriate time or a nervous time to change the tone of, call it the social environment, whether it's a class or one-on-one. But I like those improv. You ever thought about that?
No, I've never thought of improv. That's definitely interesting, man. I'd have to check that out.
We'll have to look to see if we have any in Bakersfield or something. Jacob's nodding his head. He goes, he's in.
I'll do it with you, man.
All right, we got 3 of us. Let's see what else we can do.
Okay.
Other than that, you're right. It is just continue to do it. And you're doing a podcast now. So yeah, you're not letting any fear slow you down. Okay, that's an impressive. Wait a minute. 2015. When did you get into renewables?
I got into renewables 19? In 2018.
Oh, 18.
So about 7 years now.
Okay, that's an impressive 7-year career.
Yeah, it's been quick. Been a lot of different hats, a lot of different things. Starting as a laborer from solar to wind to BESS. Was a management for a short while, and then now I'm a technical trainer. So, yeah, man, it's been a ride for sure.
It's been a ride, and you're going strong.
Yeah, going strong. Don't have any plans to quit now.
No,
can't stop, won't stop. So I'll probably be in renewables to the day I die. So
this is good ambition.
Or till the day I retire, hopefully one day. So
this is good ambition.
Yes, sir.
Good ambition. Yep. I'll say till the day I die. I've been saying this. I took retirement, that word, out of my vocabulary. Yeah. I no longer believe in it. I may not be able to work as much when I'm older, but I gotta have something. I gotta have some kind of purpose, something to do or something to give back.
I feel you on that one for
right?
Sure.
Like there's always something I can teach or contribute or something, not just, golf and I don't know what else I might do. Fish,
Right.
Yeah. It's always something to do. When did you start thinking about training and teaching?
I want to say I began thinking about training was probably, I don't even know, honestly. I never really thought I was going to be a trainer at any point, and it just kind of worked out the way it did, the stars aligned essentially,
Most of the jobs that I've had in my career, I never thought. I don't even knew most of them existed, right? Until I sort of got there in life and you see these other doors and you didn't even know those doors were available, right? So you knock on one and you see what's behind it. But that's the thing about this industry is it's and with any industry that grows so fast and it's continuing to, you don't know what opportunities are out there till you just start growing a career in it. But you got to have this weird blind faith that there's going to be something. And you can find resources like this wonderful podcast and hear about, all right, shameless plug, find out about people, in their careers and how it happened, and then start asking around and maybe finding mentors and getting some more advice and what's my next step in the career. And here's what I like, here's what I don't like. But there are so many people, Tyler, out there just like you, and just like me a lot of years ago that didn't know, right? And that's what I just continue to, I guess I'm on my soapbox for a minute, that when people stay in their career, they find these opportunities, and what a blessing.
Right.
What an amazing thing. You're finding job satisfaction in teaching others, in teaching people that were like you. It's wild in a very short time.
Man, and I've learned a lot too from the technicians out in the field too. That's the main, one of the biggest spots that I learn is from the technicians too. And a lot of the bad habits that I had back in the field, I'm teaching them like, hey man, don't do this, or this is what to look out for. This is something I didn't know that I know now that, hey, you might want to look out for.
All right, let's hear some of the bad habits.
Oh man, bad habits. Well, I mean, there's all kinds of bad habits.
What are you hearing?
I know back in the day, I mean, when I say back in the day, a couple years ago, 5 years ago, I've heard that using jumper cables as grounding, when you're doing your lotto was one of the bad habits for sure. So you definitely don't want to use jumper cables to ground out your inverter because, I mean, jumper cables are rated for 12 volts, not, 1,000 volt or 15,000 or 1,500 volt array. So definitely don't want to use jumper cables. The tips on your meter probes, those have a rating to them. That's one thing that I didn't know as a young technician. I would always throw those tips, conveniently not in my meter bag. But those have a category rating on them that are the category you need to be in a power plant. So category 3 is the category on those meter tips, or should be the category on those tips that you're using for your multimeter. So
okay,
that's one of them. And then just small little things like that.
You're talking about
big things like that.
The tip, the cover,
yes,
or the probe.
So the tip to the probe. So yes, the
cover.
The cover, yes.
Okay.
There's caps on them.
Yeah.
So if you remove the cap, it exposes more metal, and there's more of a chance of an arc happening from the exposure there. It's that category rating there. I forgot off the top of my head the actual number, but
I would have been guilty of that one.
Yeah, man.
I was guilty of that one. I never used jumper cables.
Yeah.
Never would have thought of that one. But all right, these are some newer kind of bad habits that are out there.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, is this mostly in solar?
Those are the ones that I've picked up when I was in solar, a while ago. So
okay, all right. What are some good habits that you're seeing out there lately?
Man, good habits, I would say, is just taking your time. That's one thing I would say is don't rush anything. Always take your time. Always be prepared. And with being prepared is taking your time. So you always want to be properly prepared for the task that you're doing. If you're working under the sun, you want to mitigate heat stress or being exposed by the sun, as well as the electrical hazards that you have out there. Because, I mean, if you work in solar, you work in a power plant that's got electricity. I mean, obviously we have to mitigate the electrical hazards and prepare that way. But, the environment and the electrical hazards and everything that goes into that, we want to definitely prepare. And that's one of the best habits that I've seen out there. And then, don't assume.
Okay, don't assume. We can get into electrical safety, but you mentioned heat, and I don't know that we talk enough about this because it is a crazy risk. Solar plants are in the hottest places, typically, or there's a lot of them in desert areas. What are some ways to protect yourself from the heat?
Man, taking breaks, mitigating the breaks with how hot it is. So you got the OSHA heat index app you can use based off of the heat. You can know when to take your breaks, and the hotter it gets, the more frequent your breaks are, and it gets to a point where it's so hot that you just don't work at all. So stop work authority, and with that, you want to make sure you're hydrating. So drink water, electrolytes when you're taking your breaks in a cool area, not in the sun.
All the good ones. The one I brought up last month in one of our internal safety meetings was about eating food. So I started reading more about heat, right? Because it's been so many years of take breaks, get shade, get cool, hydrate, electrolytes. And in my reading, food was coming up. And it was, don't skip breakfast and don't make it a bad breakfast. And then eat like a lot, maybe every couple hours. And if it's super hot, maybe every hour you're taking a 10-minute break because you're above 100 degrees and you're in the sun, right? So I think a lot of companies now go to like a 10-minute break above a certain temperature in the shade. And so we're saying eat.
Yeah, got to replace those salts, man. I mean, you're just sweating it out of your body. So
yeah. And probably not most of the things you get at the gas station where all of us techs go shopping.
No Red Bulls.
Right. Yeah, low on the sugars. All right. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. We always get in the safety talks, and you're really good at them, but
Thanks.
heat's one we haven't really covered too much. In today's fast-paced industry, having the right tools isn't just an advantage, it's essential. That's where ETI Energy Tools comes in. With over 75 years of industry experience, they deliver strategic procurement solutions that enhance safety, efficiency, and cost savings. ETI provides industrial tools, safety gear, test and measurement equipment, and heavy repair solutions, all backed by a vast network of manufacturers. Whether it's tool kitting, PPE standardization, or high voltage tooling, ETI saves companies time and money while ensuring they have the right tools for the job. Contact ETI at etienergytools.com to learn more and gear up for success. The students that you have lately, are they new to industry or just new to solar? Majority.
Kind of both. So new to industry, never seen solar or been on a power plant in their life, and then some of them are just new to solar. So maybe a wind technician or a battery technician came over to solar. Those are kind of the people that we typically see in our classrooms, or the people that are new to solar and then new to industry. So I'd say a mixture of the both of them.
Okay. And what are some of the common questions that they have in your classes? Are they asking what they might encounter? So if you're teaching, so I don't know, in your level 1 class, it's a lot of DC focus, right? In your level 1 class, or is that the right name of the?
It's new to industry
New to
training.
industry
So
training.
I guess the majority of the questions that I'm getting is the types of how to protect yourself, pretty much. So what are the distances that we need to be at to properly maintain, with the electrical hazard there for the shock distances.
Okay.
Type of PPE, so what are the types of gloves, the frequency of inspections, that type of stuff. What type of meters are the best used on the site? So we'll talk about the type of meters. What kind of specialty tools are out there to help out with the job as well? So we'll talk about some of those. Those are just kind of the ones off the top of my head that I can think of.
So they're thinking about safety. I mean, if common questions are how do I protect myself, they're thinking about safety. I love that, and that feels new to me, because I think in my early tech era, it was more about how do I keep the job, how do I get the job done, and I don't want to say it, but so many of us thought about achieving the result more than safety. Not that we were trying to be unsafe, it just wasn't the first thing in our minds. But I love to hear that that's a common question now. How do I protect myself? It's really encouraging to me to hear that. Okay. And then, new tools. Boy, the technology on tools has come a long ways. And now the high voltage tools, there's so many, right? Electrically rated tools, not that you should be working hot.
Right.
Remove the energy source. But it's out there. And then the PPE is also amazing. So much easier to work in and use than it ever was. Again, your last resort PPE.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody. But you do a lot of DC. Do you get into teaching IV curve testing?
We do have a module on the IV curve trace testing in one of the meter trainings that we do. So it's a higher level of meter training that we do at Rise that covers IV curve trace testing and what that test does and how it's performed. We have a tester at the facility that we use. So it's it's a Fluke SMFT multifunction tester. I think I said that right. Mm-hmm. It's SMFT, the solar multifunction tester. But it does a bunch of different tests like the IV curve trace test and a bunch of other measurements, which is pretty nifty as a solar technician. So
okay, that's probably not the new to industry class.
That is not the new that's no. The next level up.
Next level up.
So the new to industry is more or less introductory. That's kind of a next level up.
It's wild to think how dangerous all that DC voltage can be.
Yeah, man. I mean, upwards to 1500 volts DC. Same thing with the battery industry too, though. I mean, close to 1500 volts DC. So can't turn the battery off. At least the sun goes down in the solar industry.
No. The battery discharge cycle is important to know,
Right.
to wait, to time, to test. There's a lot going on there in the discharge. And then in solar, I mean, even at night, there's some voltage if the moon's out.
Yeah, got that lunar
Yeah.
power.
Yeah. Maybe full cloud is when you don't get, I don't know.
Right.
But that's right. You have voltage potential nearly any time
In the battery industry,
in solar.
and solar, DC. I mean, you'll have small amounts of DC in the field when obviously the sun goes down. AC is going to be present because we got the grid hooked up. So,
Right.
yeah, it's still dangerous.
Amazing.
Which is something you don't want to be blind to, or you don't want to take that for granted, So
No, it's complex too. So, on a solar site, you might have one interconnect or substation, and then inverters, and then DC combiner boxes, and then strings of modules, you said, but that's the panel. But essentially, every one of them is a power plant. Would you agree with the terminology? Is one module or panel a power plant?
I mean, ran in series in parallel to make up the overall power, of the whole power plant. So yeah, it's generating DC, voltage right there, that module. So
Yeah, every module. So it's wild to think about. You can hurt yourself with one panel. One panel prevents or has a potential risk.
yeah, you got to be really careful with that. Especially when the sun's shining. You don't want to be disconnecting anything under load because cause arcs. Arc flashes are not good for human consumption. So
No, they're not.
Yeah.
No consuming arc
It says printed right onto the MC4 connectors too. It says do not disconnect under load. So I mean that's one thing that's important is do not disconnect anything under load.
That higher voltage, you can get quite an arc. So there's a distance, a minimum distance on even those where you'll get an arc. Do you know what it is? I don't know.
I'm not sure what the distance is, but I mean, it'll get you.
It's inches.
It's inches.
Yeah.
If you're disconnecting with the,
it's substantial.
It'll get you.
It'll get you.
If you're disconnecting with a tool and no PPE on, and you don't know what you're doing, and yeah, you gotta play it safe, man.
Get ready for some hand burns. Something. Yeah.
Get ready for an incident, man. Hopefully everybody's all right.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. I like the way you talk about all this. I can tell you're a good teacher.
I try to have fun with it,
Yes. So you've had several different OEM specific trainings on inverters?
I've had a few.
A few.
Yeah, I've had a few. Actually, Steven San Juan, my current boss right now, he trained me to do SMA. So
Okay.
got a bunch of SMA training from Steven, Kodiak, and CP training, which we do CP training right now at our facility. So it's the out of warranty training, the older units, but yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Do you see similarity? What are the similarities and differences between the different OEM inverters, different inverter types?
Engineers. They're all connected just differently. I mean,
You see a lot of similar components?
lots of similar components,
There you go.
lots of similar disconnect, lots of similar fuses, lots of similar contactors, breakers, stuff of that nature. Lots of ABB out there. I don't know what it is with ABB, but they're dominating it with the breakers. Lots of different fuses are used. I mean, like I said, fuses and breakers twice, but lots of similar components.
So once you start to understand the theory of power inversion and the components it takes in order to create that inversion of power, you can take that knowledge and apply it to another inverter type.
Yeah,
Right?
you could take that general knowledge and kind of know what you're looking at, just by having that experience. It's literally a machine that takes a DC input and has an AC output. So I mean, if you look at a power supply, similar to that,
Yep. Right. For anything you plug in life, just about.
Right.
Cell phone, laptop.
A DC input, AC output. So
Yeah.
Same thing with the
Well,
battery inverters. Same
Vice
thing.
versa, but yeah. And software is probably a major difference.
That's the tricky part right there, is all the software and the programming that goes into them. That's going to be way more specific to those manufacturers. So it's most likely going to be the manufacturer reps doing all that type of work with the software, or somebody that has the training and the knowledge to do that. So
Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, it's it's power conversion, inversion in solar, and a lot of the similar components. Capacitors, do you do an H bridge? Yeah.
Yeah, IGBTs.
Right. IGBTs.
Yep, capacitors. That's the dangerous part of the inverter too, is that stored energy in the capacitors. DC and AC capacitors. Once you stop the current flow, they only store DC energy. So that's one of the tips that I can give technicians out there, is to only measure capacitors on DC voltage when you do your lottos or live dead lives. Got to really consider the capacitor, the stored energy in those inverters, because they're full of them. So
that's right. So you can disconnect your inverter from AC and lotto it out, but that inverter can still hurt you.
Absolutely.
How long can it hurt you?
Depends on the manufacturer. That's why you have to really get into the paperwork. So it's going to be manufacturer specific. Just wait it out. When in doubt, read the manufacturer. The details. RTFM. Always read the factory manual. So
that's right.
And the capacitor sizes change. That's why you have to read the manuals. Some manufacturers will say 8 minutes. Some will say 15 minutes. You don't want to get those mixed up. So absolutely read the paperwork. RTFM, man. Read the factory manual.
I love that. I don't remember that F word being factory when I was a kid, but I know what you're saying. We have the same thing. You said you were doing work as a qualified worker and an unqualified worker. What does that mean? What's the difference?
So qualified and unqualified, training and not trained. So at some points, I'd be called out and actually had the training for the manufacturers that I was working on. Like, for instance, SMA. Go work out on SMA inverters with the qualified training. But then when I was unqualified, I would be with like a manufacturer rep on the site as an unqualified worker. So I'd have to maintain the limited approach boundary. I couldn't get in the restricted approach boundary. I was only there as kind of like a safety second or an additional hand per se.
Okay. The unqualified worker, did you have any electrical training? Could you perform lotto?
So no.
Okay.
We didn't really perform the lotto, but we were present like with the lotto process happening. So we kind of, I would say safety second. We weren't necessarily in like the PPE performing the lotto, doing the measurements, but we were right alongside the manufacturer rep who had the training and had the experience to do the lottos. So I was there with my notebook, taking all the notes and really soaking it in at those, moments.
Okay. I'm not really, by the way, these are not leading questions. I wasn't familiar with this unqualified worker concept until, in the last couple of years, I started hearing it and now just learning about it. So these aren't leading questions. I really don't know. So you said safety second. Were you given some safety training?
So I had some safety training, kind of minimum NFPA, first aid CPR type training, basic electrical training, but I wasn't per se qualified to work on this manufacturer or that manufacturer because it was a new machine at the time. So different disconnect points, different makeup of the machine, and just showing up on a job site. I was with a service company. It's like, hey, we need guys there tomorrow, and it's like, hey, I've never seen this before, so I'm not qualified, man.
You were very new to industry.
Yeah.
Okay, that helps, and maybe I think what I'm liking about it is that you're almost identifying those folks in the field for everybody else. Keep an eye out.
It's
like if I hear unqualified worker, I'm not really sure what to ask that person to do, but I do know to keep an eye on them. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah. So I think from that standpoint, I do understand and see some benefit to it.
Yeah, it's ongoing too. The qualified versus unqualified. Like, you're not qualified forever. Like, for instance, if I work on a Nintendo 64 and the Nintendo Switch comes out, I've never seen the Nintendo Switch before. I've only worked on the Nintendo 64, you know what I mean? So I'm not qualified for the Switch yet until I get through that specialty training and understand how to power cycle it and put the video games in and all that good stuff.
Gotcha.
Kind of an analogy I can wrap it up to.
Okay.
Because the machines change.
So is it a term that the OEMs use?
I want to say it's straight out of NFPA if I can't remember off the top of my head. So
All right. I might have to look that one up. Good to know. Unfamiliar, but okay. But then appreciate it. But then you sounds like quickly converted or got through training and became this qualified worker. What training were you given to make that transition?
That's a process with either classroom training, or you can get that with on-the-job training with a qualified trainer. So mixture of both, or yeah, that's pretty much how we got the training, was on-the-job training as well as classroom instructed training, which we had a couple of inverters that we trained on in a laboratory setting at one point. So
okay, so some lab or classroom and or some field skills verification sign off by somebody that was qualified to teach you and say stamped qualified. I got it. Okay, this makes more sense. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Altair Energy Services, and their highly trained, expert technical staff, leveraging decades of renewable power management experience into customized solutions for everyone to meet their energy goals and contribute to a better future for all. Altair's team of hardworking, respected experts are providing full-scope, turnkey repairs, planned and unplanned maintenance, system upgrades, fully autonomous technical crews, supplemental staffing, and customized dynamic scheduling to fit your power production needs. Contact Altair at info@altairenergyservices.com and learn more about their wide range of capabilities across multiple power technologies and platforms. Got any crazy stories that have happened from class? Maybe odd myths that come out in questions from students, things they heard about but weren't true. Those are some of my favorite stories, if you can think of one. I'm trying to think of one of my own. I pick on my son a lot, and since I've already told this story, maybe you've heard it, but when he first got into solar, he walks out on the field. I guess unqualified worker is what you would call it, but I don't know if it was tagged that way. And they're saying they got 7 tables to fix. And so for days he's going around looking for a table. Right?
I could see that.
Yeah. So
I would be looking for a table too on my first day of the job. So I don't blame him.
Well, I didn't know a module, so everybody started calling panels modules. And it would replace the module. To me, module is a generic term that can mean a dozen different things.
Right.
And I had to ask, where do you see the module? And then I get a funny, sarcastic answer because they're pointing at a solar panel.
The one thing that I've seen, not really like a question, but like it's an industry thing, is Megger testing. Hey, I need to go do a Megger test. What do you mean? An insulation resistance test? Megger is a brand name. So there's Fluke and other manufacturers out there that create insulation resistance testers or make insulation resistance testers. But I've seen just commonly throughout the industry, hey, go grab the Megger. We need to go do a Megger test. No, we need to get an insulation resistance tester to do this, perform what we're going on. So I've seen that.
Good one. I still call it a Megger test.
Yeah.
You're right. That's a good one.
I was looking at some one-line diagrams or some as-built, and it says right there in the notes too, it's like, do a Megger test and some other, TTR tests. I'm like, man, it's even in the notes of the one-line or the as-built, so.
Right, the common language.
Yeah.
Yeah, the common language. All right, that's a good one. And have you also been writing some of the training material and manuals?
So I've been helping out with my team, assisting in writing and developing a lot of the training. So it's a whole team effort, man. It takes all of us to develop some of these modules, and yeah, I've been helping out writing some of the material that we got training. So
what do you think about the technical writing and instructional documentation?
Man, it's definitely difficult. So it's a challenge. It's fun because I get to be creative. So. And I like to throw in a lot of the pictures that I've collected throughout the years. So, I've got a huge library of photos, and since I've been developing, I've been throwing in little snippets and some of the stuff that I've collected over the years. So, my fine little touch on it. So,
Okay. It is. It's a different level of technical writing. You're not just writing a manual or process or procedure, but you're writing it in a way of how can I teach it, and how much time will this many written words take in order to explain and instruct. What kind of questions do I need to pull out to ensure that my students have retained the information? And yeah, you need the visuals, you need the pictures,
man,
and you need the stories, the analogies, and how to and what if kind of pieces.
I think that's the best part of what I do is talking to the technicians. So technicians talking to techs,
Yeah.
I get to share stories and commonalities and the tips, to the technicians. So I think that's the best part of my job.
Ooh, I like that. And that would be from some of the folks that have been maybe in wind or battery. They have a little experience. Do they pick it up quicker, or is it all the same?
Um, Most of the technicians that we've gone through our courses pick it up pretty quickly. I mean, they're all, adults,
Right.
We don't have any kids coming through our classes, but everybody seems to pick it up pretty quickly. And I mean, we take the time to the ones that, don't pick it up as quick. We take the time with those individuals and make sure that they understand it, and, they get the questions that they have answered. So
I love that. And I think it was John that always says, somebody asks you to do something unsafe, say no. And if they argue, tell them to call me.
yeah, man, that's real, man.
Unbelievable. Do people call?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we got guys every once in a while that give us a call, or hey man, I got a question about something, and I encourage them the same thing. If you got a question, give us a call, and if we don't know the answer, we'll find somebody that does know the answer. So
Yeah, that's so cool. I think Colton has used that. There have been a couple over the last year or so he's called and like, I don't know, call your teacher. and he does.
that's the real deal, man. Is using that stop work authority and phoning a friend, and it doesn't have to be anybody. It doesn't necessarily have to be anybody in your immediate chain of command, as long as you're calling somebody and asking the question, right? So use that
Yeah.
stop work authority and ask questions for sure.
So when you're back to writing the material for teaching, what's the medium? Are you doing PowerPoints or?
So it's mainly it's based off of Microsoft, so a lot of it is on PowerPoint, but we've got practical student guides that we develop through Microsoft Word and stuff like that, and we'll PDF them, and it's a lot of different Microsoft applications. But yeah, most of it's a presentation. We have a quiz. We have a lot of practical applications that we do in our labs, so hands-ons. We'll train on our inverters and a lot of the different equipment that we have in our laboratory, and that's the most fun, is actually having the presentation and putting it to use in the practical app. So
Yeah. And you guys have designed some of your own I don't know, testing equipment, right? To make pieces of transformers and panels and inverters functionally testable. I don't know what the right terminology is, but it's impressive what you guys have.
thanks, man. Yeah, it's a lot of work and a lot of brains that go into creating the training aids that we have out there, and we got some pretty powerful minds that work at Rise that come together and build those things. So one of my favorite ones that we do is energizing a capacitor. So like we mentioned about the dangers of capacitors in the industry, we'll show that in fact you have to measure it on DC voltage when you do your lotto. So
Yeah. Did you guys develop something to see an arc as well? Did I dream that up maybe? Or
we have another trainer that we use in our lab, and that's for insulation resistance testers. So it shows how a module in a single axis tracker can affect, a pinched wire. And when you do an insulation resistance tester, there's a little window in that trainer that it will show an arc if you get it close enough. So it's not intentional for the arc to happen, but you'd see a little spark in there.
yeah. Hey, it's hard to see electricity. So anytime you can see it, I mean, it puts that extra level of fear in the human, right?
Right.
It's real to those that, might struggle because you don't get to see it.
I think it's scary that you can't see it or smell it or hear it. It's I guess you can hear the transformer hum, but man, it's scary stuff.
Yeah. When you first got into teaching, how did you prep? Did you take your training material and say it in front of the mirror? Did you grab your wife or your colleagues and go, all right, listen, sit here, listen to me? How did you prep?
I would say by trying it. You don't you don't know how to swim unless you jump in. So I got a lot of practice at work. So shout out to my colleagues for sitting into the the painful first presentations that I did. I did a lot of stuttering, but yeah, just practice. At work and at home too. So I'd set up my phone and videotape myself and do a presentation just to see how I'd sound, and then you'd be like, delete that real quick. But just practice, man, for sure.
I'm impressed. You recorded yourself. Video too?
Just a few times. I mean,
Video too?
Yeah.
How awkward is that to watch yourself the first time?
So awkward.
And you pick yourself apart, right? You're like, oh my goodness, my
Terrible.
hands, my picking my nose. What is he do? It's the worst, but it's such a good way to teach yourself.
Yeah.
Such a good one. Believe it or not, one of my first, public speaking kind of trainings at GE, they recorded us, but it was on VHS tapes. It was that long ago.
Oh, yeah.
And then they'd hand you the tape and you'd go out of the room and there's a TV, on a big old rolling around stand, and you'd put it in and you'd watch yourself and listening. Oh my goodness. And then you go back in the room and you try again. And you go out and watch and you try again. And you're like, oh, this is horrible. You people had to stand there and watch this. But you maybe, I don't know, who taught you that, or was it instinctual to record yourself?
I think I heard about it one time, but I try to loosen up by just joking around and being myself when I am instructing. So that's the biggest key, is having fun, not just being serious all the time. So
yeah. It is. You have to keep it up. Plus, you have to keep the energy high for the students, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're going to start to go to sleep on you.
Yeah, no, I don't want anybody falling asleep. So I'm a little wild sometimes. I'll say some jokes and get the people going, and we'll get into the training. So,
yep. And then, know your audience, when you need a break, when you can keep going, push the time a little bit when you're losing them.
Yeah, you got to pick up on the cues. Somebody, bobbing in the back. It's like, all right, let's stand up, let's drink some coffee, and get back into it. But or whatever you got to do. But.
Yeah, that after lunch lull.
Yeah, it's real.
That's the worst, right?
Yeah, that's the real deal right there.
Everybody, you just got them sitting there. Like, maybe get rid of the chairs. Everybody's standing.
I try to do more practical in the afternoons. I mean, I really like it when my training works out that way, when we have more practical, we're on our feet actually, taking measurements and stuff like that in the afternoon. That way we can do the classroom instruction, eat our lunch, and then, get to some actual physical work.
That's
I
clever.
find that works a little bit better.
I'm sure it does. Yeah.
It works better for me, so it's got to.
Me too. I would be dozing off. I just, need a little coffee or something. And then, so in your teaching, is all of the words on the screen that you're showing your class, or are you showing them some pictures and highlight summaries, and then have your teacher guide to reference? What's your style like?
So we have instructor guides as well as student guides. So the students will fill in notes as I'm reading off an instructor guide. So kind of both. They get the fill in the blank type style with their student guides, but I have a guided script that I follow for each module that we do. So no matter who's training the module, all of our instructors kind of can deliver the same type of training. So
love it. So the training is repeatable, regardless of who Rise puts in as the teacher that day or that class. And then I think I heard another one I was going to ask about. But you answered it, is what was the primary method of teaching to the student? Because I've been talking a little bit lately about audible learners, visual learners, and hands-on. And if you can mix them all in the class, boy, you're hitting them.
Man.
Right? So if they're seeing it up on the screen and they're seeing it in front of them, they're hearing it from you, they're having to write some of it, you're hitting most of the common triggers. The audible one is I think the least amount of people are audible learners. Visual and hands-on are the two common ones. So for me, I need to read it, and then if I write it, it starts to get locked in. But if you just tell me, 50-50, whether I remember it or not.
I think it's a powerful mixture of a combination of all of that to really have a great training program, and that's what we have. We have the inverters in our lab that we can show, say we're talking about disconnect points. Hey, there's contactors. Let's go out to our lab and check out this contactor. What's a contactor? Oh, it's an electrically controlled switch with a coil. Oh, this is a coil. It needs to be energized in order to, engage the switch. And we'll flip the switch. Contactor closes, and there's that, that light bulb that turns on in the student's eyes. It's like, oh crap, we talked about an electrically controlled switch. It just closed right in front of my eyes, and here's the coil, oh, a coil's just literally a coil of copper, like, it's mind blowing.
Yeah, you can say coil all day long to new to industry. They don't have a picture of it until you show it. And then if you can put it in their hand, and I don't know if you guys keep any old trash ones, but sometimes you put it in their hands, those hands-on learners, which most of us technicians are. Man, it's real. It's locked in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. The lab piece is so important, so much more important, I think, often than the audible and visual for technicians, right? We like fixing stuff. It's how we became technicians.
Right.
Yeah. You guys are mixing it together. I love hearing that. You're hitting all the marks. You guys, and I know Stephen and John, I don't remember any numbers, but it's like all the time. Classrooms full. Classrooms
nonstop,
full.
man. We were
Classrooms
busy.
booked. Yeah. Want to get some lunch? No, we're out of town.
Oh, we get lunch, man. We definitely have our breaks. We're in California, but we ride back to it afterwards.
Yeah, what I mean? You do. They don't take a break to have lunch with me very often.
Oh, that's you,
just to BS and catch up.
I got you.
Yeah. They're busy working. All right. Well, you it's an impressive career, and in 7 years, you've gone from wind through solar through battery to technical writing, instructor-led writing, and teaching.
Yep.
It's impressive, buddy. I want to say, what's next?
I have no clue.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. You didn't know you'd be here 3 years ago either, right? Being a trainer. But keep teaching, man. If that's a passion for you, keep teaching, keep training, keep educating folks, because there's not enough people doing it. And if you're good at writing, there's less people that are kind of going in that space even. The technical writing, the how-to pieces of the written word seems to be less and less of it. So it's those are powerful skills that'll continue to propel your career no matter what you want to do. You already have an extra edge.
Thank you.
Yeah. And man, keep it up. I can't wait to see what you do next. And oh man, I didn't even hit anything personal. Can we share? Dad now to 2. How old?
I've got a 3-year-old baby, so Ellie's 3, and then I've got Isla, and she's gonna be, I think she's 3 months now. So.
3 and 3 months.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, 3 months sooner. I don't know. My wife's gonna be mad at me for not remembering off the top of my head. But.
You got their names right.
Yeah, I got the names right at least. Yeah.
It's okay. You're winning. Jacob, just mute that last part, and
just cut out
say the audio got bad right there. I don't know. Oh, it's fantastic. And a Tehachapi local, which I'm in love with. This place has done so much for so many, it's just cared for so many families, this industry, right here in this town. And like seeing you, get to call you a second-gen renewable person, second generation.
Yeah. That's
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. There's not many of those yet.
No. Pretty dang cool working here in Tehachapi too. I got to say that. So being local,
you can see the other avenues for your career, right? Or the other things that you might want to go specialize in and talk to and see where it goes. Because yes, this is a mecca.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an old one.
Yeah.
Oldest in the industry. Yeah, very cool. Well, thanks for showing up and being on the podcast. And wish you and your family the best. Looking forward to catching up some more and watching your career continue to grow. It's impressive, and no doubt the next steps are going to be just as amazing.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.